Should I post native social content or link to the blog? By Damon Nolan. This article examines the question, is it better to post native content on social media websites or link back to my blog? To help give some context to this article, let me explain how I got here. The backstory. Recently, I returned to writing longer form articles. For the past few years, I resorted to posting pictures on social media and writing a short paragraph related to the image. It could be a story, thought, or some kind of update. While it served the purpose, I always felt that I needed to more fully explore topics. For me, this meant going back to the blog. Whenever you write an article, you want it to be read because, well, I had a community on various social sites. I went there first to share the story. I continued to do what I had been doing over the previous number of years. I posted a picture and text. However, the difference is that my posts were much longer than before. While it didn't appear to cause any reduction in likes or engagement, I did read a few observations from readers that the posts were, well, they were much longer. Not that longer is bad, but if the topic is interesting and people are willing to stop long enough to read them, then okay. Although I'm not ignoring the fact that some people are not actually reading, but simply looking at the pictures. And I accept that reality too. One day, I post my longer form article to Facebook like I had been doing many times before, and it got next to 0 likes and engagement. What happened? I asked. Was it the time of the day that I posted it? Was it the picture? It wasn't a good one. Was it just not a good topic? I mean, what was wrong? The next day, in an effort to understand the recent outcome, I shared a really nice picture, posted it earlier in the day versus late at night, and wrote a story that I believed many could get behind. Unfortunately, nothing changed. It happened for a second time in a row. I was perplexed. How many of my stories, how can my stories be active one day, but in need of life support the next? Over the next couple of articles, I tried following my previous routine. To help increase the reach, I started sharing the post to my Facebook groups. Still, no amount of activity on my part seemed to revive the underwhelming activity on these posts. While at work, one of my coworkers made a comment about not seeing my article that morning. This gentleman said that he'd always looked forward to reading my posts. Thank you, Zach. But he hadn't seen anything. It was right then that I realized what happened. Facebook was playing around with my organic reach. To say that in another way, Facebook wasn't letting my posts get the same attention that I had been getting. I was so disappointed to learn that this was happening, but I couldn't let Facebook win. As a result, I decided to take back the control and direct what little traffic I was getting on the social networks to my blog directly. In addition, I would rely more heavily on my email list. My thought process was that email will touch every subscriber's inbox. From there, I had a better chance of getting read. Also, by directing traffic from the social networks, I would ultimately build up this email list and eventually bypass any algorithm changes in Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Linking back to the blog. Disheartened by Facebook's recent change, I started posting articles as links. This means I stopped sharing the whole article as a post and simply posted a link with an introduction. The social network typically pulled the graphic from my website and then I posted it. Again, the number of likes and engagement stayed uncommonly low. Thankfully, LinkedIn didn't appear to squelch the post like what I noticed on Facebook. In addition to sharing on Facebook, I also posted on LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, and Google+ communities. As a result, I noticed the number of website visitors on my blog went up. I even noticed a number of new email subscribers. Now that was an exciting turn of events. I continued to post articles as links back to my site, and the number of page views continued to rise on my blog. Still, the likes and comments on Facebook remained close to dead. It just felt like the post never really got off the ground. Over the next few days, I started to cut up my articles into smaller pieces of content and schedule them using Buffer. Taking one blog article, I could cut it up into multiple quotes, images, questions, and main points. Each time I shared a smaller piece of the whole, I would add a link back to my website. This only continued to improve my page views while likes and engagement on Facebook stayed dry. Native social content. Now, up to this point, I have talked about posting content on different social networks. As regular posts, it seems that a number of social networks, mainly Facebook and LinkedIn, are trying to formalize the practice and give publishers greater control over the look and feel of the article. In this section, I really want to kind of introduce what Facebook and LinkedIn are doing to assist publishers and then share my results. Facebook posts versus Facebook note versus Facebook instant articles. As outlined earlier, my recent strategy has been posting the entire article within a Facebook post along with a picture, which produced somewhere between 40 and 100 likes. There were a few posts that skyrocketed to the 200 like range. This became my benchmark for what would follow. While I found the engagement worked, I didn't like that I lost text formatting in the process because of my posts were much longer than a normal picture with text. I believe it was hard to follow headers and subheaders in the text because the font size and color was the same throughout. As a result, I found that Facebook Notes allows for a much better user experience. If you're unfamiliar with Notes, it has been around for years, and I'm going to guess since probably 2010 or 2011. In the beginning, it was pretty bare bones, but Facebook upgraded it to include better text formatting along with multiple image options. Unfortunately, posting long form content in Notes produced next to 0 likes or comments. I just knew that Facebook would value Notes over long posts, but this wasn't the case for me. Yesterday, I found that Facebook rolled out a feature called Instant Articles. From what I have been able to gather, it's a publishing service that pulls articles from RSS feeds and APIs into Facebook. Now, to put it another way, it takes our existing external articles and then pulls them into Facebook so that users will not have to leave Facebook. As of this post, I have crafted 5 articles from my blog and then submitted them for review. According to the message I received, it should take about 3 to 5 days before I hear something back. In addition to publishing directly into Facebook from our RSS feeds, the company is now offering a way to get paid from ad placement throughout our content. Now, does this mean our native social content will be viewed more often than before? Will it result in more likes and engagement? Well, I sure hope so, but once I, get started and get some feedback on this feature, I'll let you know. LinkedIn Pulse. Similar to Facebook's instant articles, LinkedIn also provides a place for publishers to post full articles. It's called LinkedIn Pulse. From what I understand, authors are able to submit written work through the Write an Article feature. Now, based on my experience having submitted articles through Pulse and as mere links to my blog, the views and engagement, they're about the same. Now, while some topics just do better than others, I believe that LinkedIn serves both the native article and the linked article about the same. While I could be wrong, know that I'm basing this observation entirely on my own views, likes, and comments for both types of content. For, like Facebook, I guess, any content that is published through Pulse receives text formatting, links, images, and that kind of stuff. Now, this tool makes articles look really nice and very presentable. The pros and cons of native social content. In this section, I want to look at the pros and cons of posting my content directly into social networks versus linking back to my website. With native social content, I'm including Facebook instant articles and LinkedIn Pulse to the comparison. Pros. Facebook posts tend to get more likes and comments than sharing external links. Visitors don't have to leave the social network to read the article. With more likes and higher engagement, I have more opportunities to be found by new readers. Content can look very attractive when using native publishing tools. The cons. I have no control over who sees my content because I'm at the mercy of the social network's algorithm. My website's page views drop dramatically. Search engine ranking could be negatively affected by a lack of new posts and engagement. Facebook Notes, while it is more attractive than a regular post, underperformed against the less formatted post. There are fewer new email subscribers because they never actually see the call to action on my website. With no website visitors, my ads are not being seen, which means I'm not generating any revenue. Posts on social networks don't have a long shelf life in the way articles on my blog do. The summary. To determine whether the results are good or bad, one has to understand the desired outcomes. Now, for me, I primarily want my content to be read, or in this case, listened to, or if I'm on YouTube, watched. Additionally, I enjoy the engagement, though, that comes along with a good post. Just recently, I asked a question related to a blog article and got some pretty heartfelt responses. I love hearing stories and receiving questions from readers. Clearly, I don't like it when Facebook or any service provider changes how they do business, and then I'm negatively affected. In this case, I was receiving fewer viewers and engagement than before. Instead, I would much rather be in control of the outcome than giving that control to someone else. Additionally, I would hate to lose all of my work should the company decide to close its doors. Now, I didn't start writing to receive money, but when I received a check in the mail for the advertisements on my website, I was pleased as punch. No, it's not a driving force, but it is a nice perk. Currently, I don't see any financial benefit from social networks, excluding YouTube, because YouTube, like my blog, pays me for the advertisements or advertisements, kind of based on how you say that. However, it is important to remember that Facebook Instant Articles offers financial benefits through its ad network. So we'll see how that goes. While I enjoy the immediate response and engagement of posts on social media, I also like the long-term benefits of pointing visitors to my blog. I have articles and videos that are being found and read 7 years after I initially created them. The shelf life of an article on social is, a few hours at best? Additionally, I'm curious to find out how many people are searching Facebook or LinkedIn for articles. Are articles on social networks even indexed in search engines? Closing thought. As I bring this article to a close, I hope that you found value. While there are opportunities and benefits for posting as native content, I think I'm going to continue my latest effort and just focus more intently on building DamonNolan.com. This means that I will write my articles here and then share snippets, questions, small videos, quotes, and highlights from the blog on the external social networks, but provide readers with a link back to my website. This will help me build my email list, regain control over my success, and help provide a more consistent relationship with you, the reader, or with you, the listener. So, I imagine that as I learn more about this topic, I will, either come back and update the article, or maybe I'll just create other articles that kind of deep dive into other related topics of interest. So, questions for the day, or rather questions for discussion. I would love to hear from you on this topic. What is your position on posting content directly to Facebook, LinkedIn, or any of the other social networks? Do you prefer posting the entire article or the entire amount of content? Or do you want to create links that go back to your website? What have you found to be most beneficial? What success have you experienced by using Facebook Instant Articles, Facebook Notes, or LinkedIn posts? As a reader or as a listener, what do you prefer? Do you want to read or listen to the entire article on the external social websites? In this particular case, it could be on Stitcher, it could be on SoundCloud, it could be on YouTube, or do you prefer reading it on the author's website? Share it. So hopefully, again, I hope you found value with this post. I mean, please share it online or email it to someone who you think could benefit from this. Subscribe today. And if you like this kind of this kind of information, which I really hope you do, make sure you don't miss a single article. Subscribe, right? If you're on SoundCloud or Stitcher, subscribe today. If you're on YouTube, subscribe today. No matter where you are, go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget, you can also subscribe to my newsletter, which essentially is just all these articles coming into your email box so you don't miss anything. Just come on over to DamonNolan.com and make sure you subscribe on the side where it says subscribe for the newsletter. So anyway, I hope that, again, you enjoyed it. I'm thankful that you've, took the time to listen or read. I really value your participation and just kind of ongoing support. So I think that's pretty much it for me. Until next time, I'm going to throw up the virtual deuces and say deuces. All right, guys, have an amazing day. Until next time.